Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're gonna finish mocking up the motor mounts that we got from Speedway. The plates are already done, and we got to do some trimming to the chassis so we can get the right pinion angle on the transmission. So that's what we're gonna do today. And I just want to say thanks for subscribing. I mean, y'all have been like slowly trickling in, and I really do appreciate it. It keeps me inspired to keep going because obviously I have a lot to do still. But yeah, so thanks again. Here we go. Okay, so we got this side bolted in. It went in pretty flush and clean. This side though is being a little pain. Looks like we got like a 1/16 of an inch gap right here. So I'll go ahead and cut out another one of these like plates that I welded in just as a spacer, and then we'll probably throw 2 little washers on there as well. Okay, so we got this plate made, threw some paint on it so it doesn't rust. We also threw some washers in there just to take up any extra space that we have. So we'll get this bolted in the car. Couple stuff we have to notch. These are the plates we made. I'm definitely gonna have to notch off these little points. I was just gonna leave them there because I didn't think they would be hurting anything or in the way. We'll bolt this back down. This is the tab for the clutch line. Since the clutch is actually going to be on the other side, or at least the access ports are, we'll go ahead and notch that guy off, that tab. And then so the shift turret, I was hoping it was going to come out of this hole, the stock location, but the 280ZX transmission is just like super long. And this one isn't gonna meet up where that stock shifter was. So what we're gonna have to do is we are going to have to notch right above here. So we'll probably take out all of this, trying to make it look, you know, stock as possible, even though there's gonna be 2 holes. Whatever, we'll probably plate this one up eventually. So we need to notch this out so we can get the right pinion angle on the engine and transmission. Didn't realize I blew out my mic when I took the shot, but we got those notched off. Never mind the cat. So we got to bolt that back in. That tab, we did just hammer it in. I did clip the clutch line, and we made this template just to get an idea of how big of a hole to cut, but we ultimately cut a pretty decent chunk out of there, and we're probably going to have to take out more to make sure we have the right clearance for the transmission. So now we use this tape to, you know, extend the stock cut or lines, and now we're going to go ahead and cut this out. So here we go. Okay guys, so we're looking for 2.6 or 2.8 degrees. This is actually 1.1 degrees in the wrong direction, so it's more like this. You need it to go like that. So go on this other side. So the challenges we're facing are this transmission tunnel. Right now it's not really hitting up there. It's hitting, there's a brace that goes all the way up and around, and that's where the transmission mount, actually you can see the transmission mounts right there and there. I'm gonna try to utilize those and not cut them out, but worst case scenario, we're just gonna cut all this out and refabricate all of it to work for our scenario. But so what's happening is this transmission needs to come up some more so we can get to that, you know, positive angle. This has a support, so we're probably gonna have to cut that support out. I'm gonna initially try to just notch it, you know, right here, so maybe we can achieve that angle we're looking for. Actually, hold on. Do y'all know what pinion angles are? First of all, I have to give a shout out to roadkillcustoms.com, those guys, for putting together this awesome demonstration. So this is the rear. Obviously it's the rear of the transmission. You got U-joints and the diff, and then there's your drive shaft. So what I'm talking about on pinion angles is the angles of your differential and your transmission slash engine, because those should be on the same plane, right? Since they're bolted together. So these guys, okay, let's start back here. So the Datsun's rear end is at negative 2.6 or 2.8 degrees. I'll have to check it again to verify that. But so right now we're trying to get our engine and transmission to be parallel, so on the same plane. So if this is negative and that's your diff, your engine and transmission should be positive on the same plane, so they should be parallel to each other. So that's what I'm talking about as far as pinion angles go. Also, one other thing that should be noted, as you can see, I have the car sitting on cinder blocks. I have this wheel wedged. I think I also have some safety crap over here. Oh, barely any. All right. Perfect. So another thing about pinion angles is it has to be basically sitting on the ground. So I've got these cinder blocks on under it, and the car is resting on the axles or the wheels, so you can measure your pinion angle. If you have the car on jack stands or anything, obviously it's not going to be at ride height, so your pinion angles are going to be wrong. That's also something to keep in mind. And last but not least, you should definitely have the wheels that you want to rock and the tires at the correct PSI, so find those, make sure it's good. This one says 44. Did I check it? No, I did not. But they both have, well, they all have air in them, and it's sitting pretty square, so we're just going to send it. Fun. Go to the other side. Probably bending up. Damn, I am. Okay. Well, she's almost there. Alright. Okay, so we got that notched out. I did try to leave as much of this piece as I could, because you get a lot of strength out of these bends or these curves in it. So we just notched out this center part. So hopefully that'll give us the room we need to get or to obtain that angle that we're going for. So I guess we'll go ahead and drop that transmission and engine back down in here and see what we're working with. Okay, so it looks like we're at 0.4 degrees, so that's a good thing, but let me show you what we're working with. So we're already maxed out. So what we're probably gonna have to do is hammer this part of the transmission tunnel up, so it'll accept that. Or, I mean, if that's not gonna work, then what we're gonna have to resort to is just cutting all this out. So and then we'll just box it up and over after we get everything mounted. I went ahead and hammered in this part of the transmission tunnel just to make a little more room. So it should make getting the motor and transmission in and out a little easier. And I don't know if y'all can tell, you should be able to tell. All this is hammered up. So I don't think I hit this, but I think since I'm hammering in this, it's like pulling the tunnel a little closer together, which is fine. We have room on both sides of the transmission for it. And you can see I also just went ahead and hammered out all this, which some of the sound deadening material was like falling off. I couldn't figure out what the sound was, but yeah, so should be enough to get that extra 2 degrees of angle we need. Much better. So that should give us the angle we need. Let's go check it. Oh man, 2.2 degrees. So we need like 0.4 of a degree. We're gonna go ahead and cut out another 1.25 inches. Okay, so we've got the motor resting on the cross member, just on the oil pan. I do have this Holley oil pan I should be putting on, but I couldn't find an engine stand, so let's see where we're at, because this thing is maxed out. 2.4. So I think that's within tolerance. I'm pretty sure the rear end is supposed to be 2.6 or 2.8. Oh, I just dropped to 2.3. Damn. So we want this kind of straight up and down. We'll go ahead and turn this thing on and try to see what this rear diff is measuring. Dang, this is so hard to tell. Okay, so this is the rear pinion angle with weight on the front and weight in the car. So it looks like we're at 88 degrees. So that would put us at a rear pinion angle at -2 degrees. So we are within range. We're at 88 degrees on the tail shaft. I did just put it on here and hit the hold button so we could carry this over so y'all could see it. Okay, so that back one was 2 degrees. I thought it was 2.8. And now it's saying, I don't know how accurate, okay, there we go. Now it's saying we're at 2.3 degrees here. So we're actually gonna let the transmission down a little bit. It needs some room anyway, it can't ride like that. All right, there we go. So we got some clearance in the transmission tunnel, and now we're at 1.8 degrees, great. So we just need to play with it. I'm probably gonna have to put on the Holley oil pan to get a little bit more clearance. So we'll get that put on as soon as we can get a engine stand. I tried to find one at Harbor Freight and they were all sold out. So we'll get an engine stand, we'll get that Holley pan put on, and then we'll get these pinion angles set. And then hopefully after we get all this secured, locked in, then we just have to, you know, make these mounts, which these are going to be pretty short, pretty tight. So that's it's actually looking really good. The position, everything. This side I'm very concerned about, but I don't know, we'll figure it out. Either we'll have to get a custom header for this side, or yeah, I don't know, we'll figure it out. For a shopping list, I need this thread pitch and to go right here so I can bolt this back in. I lost that bolt. It needs to be 2.5 to 3 inches long. Some other hardware I need is going to be these short little nubby guys, not the ones with the barbs, so you can attach, you know, wiring or ground straps to. I will keep a couple of these. I'll probably relocate this one to this bolt hole so we can ground out the engine and transmission. And obviously we need an engine stand. So do y'all want to see this? Do y'all want to see the oil pan? It's pretty cool, but I don't know, I might save it for next time. We'll see. Alright guys, I decided to unbox the oil pan in the next video. I'll do that first thing. I just didn't want to lose any of the parts in it because it's got a different pickup tube and all that jazz. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.